I'm Anastasia Ellis.
I'm Alexi Moon Cassell, aka Crescent Moon, and this is
Voices in the Back. Over the next few weeks, we'll be having conversations with BIPOC Minnesota artists on the topic of racial issues, and at the end, a performance.
We'd like to thank all our sponsors for their support.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter using our handle @VoicesInTheBack.
What's up, y'all? My name is Alexi Moon Cassell.
And I'm Anastasia Ellis.
Welcome to Voices in the Back, and we are joined by Tufawon. We got Tony Zaccardi, and we got Greg Grease. And if y'all were here live, I'd ask you to make noise and shit, but you're not. So just feel the love. Thank y'all for being here so much.
Thank you.
First question to all of y'all. What's been getting you through this damn pandemic? And can you also just introduce yourselves, say what you do and all that shit? We'll start with you, Greg.
Well, my name is Greg Grease. What do? I do a lot of things. I make music. I make bags. I make leather things. I make babies.
Damn.
And that's what's been getting me through pandemic. My child. Get you guys' minds where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm talking about my child that was born before the pandemic. Sorry, I had to keep the same energy.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, family. Family's been getting me through the pandemic. That's been the single-handedly most important thing that's kind of kept me on my guiding light. I had a kid that was born right before the pandemic, so it kind of timed out where I've just been at the house watching this Joker joke all day, and it's great, so that's my thing.
My name is Tony Zaccardi. I own a Palmer's Bar on the West Bank. It's a really old bar. I have a 11-year-old daughter that I get to spend as much time with as I can. But what's getting me through the pandemic is still working because I own a business. But I did get to spend 9 months with my own private bar, which is kind of a great thing because for everyone during the pandemic, I wish I'd just go to belly up to a bar. It's kind of what I just did every day. But I would put my feet up on the bar and watch Netflix on my TV, smoke cigarettes and trying to finish up my tap beer before I went bad. It's kind of the best, no. But honestly, like getting back to playing, except I play in bands. I play in a band called Romantica. I play in a band called Eleganza. And so I've been getting back to playing music. We made a record right before the pandemic started down in Water Valley, Mississippi, Oxford. And getting back to remembering that I'm a musician. Kind of forgot for about 9 months. Oh, that's right, I do know how to play the bass guitar. And so just getting back to just being like a human again and, more recently connecting with friends again and going, oh my God, I forgot. Giving hugs to people and just when people are comfortable with it and remembering that we're all human and learning how to to help my friends. The best thing is really, at this point, is being kind to people and finding ways to tell people how awesome they are without being cheesy and crappy and insincere. And that's been the fun thing that's been keeping me going. And also just making people come to my business. So.
Yo, my name is Tufawon. From the south side, just right over here. Like this is my neighborhood. Music is really just music and family, I would say, is getting me through the pandemic. Spending a lot of time, just getting to a place where really understanding that, this time that we have here is real temporary. And, to cherish those moments with family has been huge for me. And so I've definitely been at home with my siblings and my mom a lot and just spending quality time, and then also being productive. I feel like the pandemic gave us a lot of time to just work on things, like a lot of time to just do whatever. I think the first 8 or 9 months, I was, I think maybe all of us had a little crisis at some point, like
Collective trauma. Yeah.
Yep, a little collective crisis. We all, yeah, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know what to do with music, especially because I had all kinds of stuff planned out. Tours. I was teaching. Teaching audio production at a middle school here in South Minneapolis, and our program got cut. And I had other gigs that everything got cut. Just whole life got cut, and so. Had to rework and rethink and had to get very innovative and creative with how I'm going to continue to maintain being a full-time artist. And, it just clicked at one point. I collected unemployment for a little while, and then I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like I've, taken what I needed and, started working on a lot of music. And I think this year has been, I think I've released the most music I've ever released before. And so, yeah, getting in the studio, I have my own studio. So just being in the lab and creating and really taking that time to be intentional with like developing my sound. Just putting out a lot of music, a lot of videos, and just a lot of content in general because can't play shows. So a lot of live stream shows too. That really...
You've been killing the live stream shows, my guy.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And it kind of helped me in a way. And for a lot of artists, it helped us get comfortable with using those tools. Like going live is a tool that's very useful, that allows people to see what you're doing from another neighborhood over, or maybe even another country over, you know what I'm saying? And so that was pretty cool. I connected with a lot of people in and out of the state through the music and through these fights that we're in. And yeah, that's what's been getting me through, really. Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I know so many musicians, and a lot of people during the pandemic, during the shutdown, just were not able to be creative. Like, we all want to be. And I had this whole idea, like, the most amazing songs ever in the planet, history of the planet and the world are going to come out of this pandemic. But I see articles with musicians that I don't know, musician friends that I do know, they're like, I just took baths and watched Netflix like everybody else. Like, but like, holy crap, the best songwriters and people that I love just couldn't even get inspired to write music. But like, you were able to, Tufawon, you were able to still write songs and do stuff. Like, thank God for that, because man, I barely touched a guitar for 9 fucking months.
I mean, I was there. I definitely went through that phase of like creative block. And I, that moment and being in that like crisis and being like, where is everything? The uncertainty of everything. Like, where is all this gonna go? But I kind of, just found that energy within myself. To not just, it wasn't a fast process getting back into the music. It was very gradual. It was like, all right, let me do a full 2-week session of only listening to music, and that's it, to draw inspiration from. And that's what kind of like gave me some, it kind of helped me light that fire to start working in the studio again. And then, there was a production, because when I can't write, if I don't write, I don't try to force the writing lyrics. I make beats too, I rap and I do some singing and I make beats.
You write something that works.
Right? And so the songwriting, that came later. It was really making beats for like, 2 to 3 weeks of just like making a ton of beats and seeing what works, and then eventually I just changed the process. It was a completely different process from what I normally do. Like, I would make a whole bank of beats and just folders of all these beats, and then instead of writing one whole song to a beat, I would do chorus sessions, and I would just write choruses to like 15 different beats, and then have the choruses ready, and then come back the next day and write 10 more choruses and just have a bunch of choruses lined up. And that kind of set, for me, that workflow like really helped me, honestly. Like, having like the beat is already done, the concept of the song and the theme of the song is already there, and then all you really got to do is fill it in with verses. Okay, this is nothing.
Then
this
you can
is...
bring in people like Alexi, like Greg Graves, and whoever to help fill out those verses.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of collaboration that happened during the time too.
He ain't bring in Greg Grease to fill in not a verse. I'm just saying, but it's all good.
But also, Greg Grease didn't call me to be on his record either.
Bring the baby through.
Whatever. We're all even.
Come through with the baby. Let's make some heat.
He didn't want me to play some country music bass guitar on his album.
Wait, what happened to the show that we were the group that we had? What?
The beatbox
The
group.
beatbox
The
group.
beatbox group.
I think
Come
we could
on.
just do this
We're trying
live.
to do it.
We just collabed
Having a Roni.
like 10 minutes ago.
That's right. No, all right. He did get a Greg Grease verse.
got some Greg Reese production.
Flip it,
you know.
rub it down. It's got it.
But that's real. For me, like the words dried up, and so then I reached for the acoustic guitar because I was like, that's the only instrument I could play, and it was like, okay, I can work with sounds. The words aren't really there, and that was the thing that kind of got me through, a lot of this shit. But it's an interesting time to try to be creative when it feels like the world everything is in flux, and you're just like, I don't even know up from down right now. But speaking of that kind of upheaval and turmoil, like once George Floyd was killed, Dante Wright, like, what did y'all notice around here after that time? Any changes in anything that didn't change? You know what I'm saying, at all? Like, what did you see?
I was thinking about that, and it can go one of two ways. There's positives and there's negatives. I like to think about the positives of things. So I'm going to say that I think that there's been a lot of leaders that are emerging. Excuse me. A lot of young leaders that are emerging that I didn't know lived in the community and worked in the community, and just start seeing how different people operate. And mostly it's coming from younger people, right? And for years, I remember being a younger person and feeling like I had a voice, but it wasn't validated because of my age, right? And so now I've just been seeing how some of these young people are coming out the gate and coming with their squad, and they're able to show their presence and get respect. And for that, I love. So that's some positives that I've seen that's coming from the turmoil that our city has been seeing. And then also just a lot of different art projects that have been coming visually, just riding around the city and seeing all these beautiful murals. That's not something that ever really existed around here. And so it's something that I think is really cool. There are negatives, but I'm going to just stick to the positives. So.
I think it's important, too, just if anyone's whoever's watching this realizes where we're sitting right now, about 100 feet behind us or 10 feet behind us is the 3rd Precinct police station that burned down. And right across the street from where we're sitting is the liquor store that burned down. We're right in the epicenter right now of when it all happened. I came down here the next morning. I just moved to Dinkytown. I came down the next morning, from my bar, like, what was, I went through a lot of, what am I going to do with Palmer's, with my bar? And I came down here with my friend Brooke, who is my best friend, who works at Palmer's with me, and I saw what was happening down here, and I saw Midori's Floating World, and they're all painted Midori-owned business. And so I was like, we went down to Target first and saw that crap across the street, the Wendy's that had burned down. Like, it's Wendy's. It's Why are you burning down an Arby's and a Wendy's? We all still want those things. A grocery store, whatever. I understand. It was, but I got to see all that stuff, and I went to my business, and I've covered up my statue and my windows had black-owned business on it, and we can get into it later, but I had some pretty insane responses to it from national media and this and that. I did it with no intention of it. It was like black-owned business, not knowing what was going to happen, all of this. And then, of course, then I'm on CNN and fucking CNBC and Newsweek, and the girl's like, "Do you realize Obama follows you on Twitter?" I'm like, "What?" So then, a day later, I was kind of drunk, and I was like, "I'm gonna DM Obama because I can," and I misspelled Minneapolis, where I'm born and raised. Still hasn't responded to my text. I had the most sincere text because he was coming to town maybe for the memorial. Nope, She hasn't got back to me. Minneapolis did not attract Obama's response. But with that, I think collectively though, I mean, again, we all went through a collective fucking trauma with pandemic, yes, but with that, it was like, oh, finally people see what. I mean, and I'm not a political first. I'm not an activist person by any means. I'm not. I'm a pacifist. I'm like, fuck, okay, that was fucked up. You know, I woke up and went, oh, okay, this is gonna be fucking bad. You know, and clearly it was, and the entire planet agreed with what we all saw, and you know, for us to, you know, Minneapolis to become suddenly a center point for all of it, but to have seen what Minneapolis did and how we responded that morning after the uprising, if you will, when shit started burning down here. Over here, people sweeping up, people bringing garbage bags. The first morning, people bringing garbage bags and brooms and fucking anything, gloves, just to help clean up, just to like make sure this neighborhood didn't. Okay, it was fucked up, but we all got you. And then the next night, it fucking burned down. It was really, really hard, I think, for a lot of us, you know. But to see what Minneapolis still did and still does to get over that and to get over it, get past it, to improve on it, that's what makes me really fucking proud. Because when I was on these fucking shows, when I was on CNN, when I was on CNBC or whatever it was, he's like, da-da-da. I'm like, you know, what's fucking amazing is that our city, people are showing up and still trying to keep, okay, it was like when you show up to a car accident and you're like, not a car accident, whatever, but you're like, cool, I'm just going to clean this stuff because we're going to fix it. And it was just like, it was a beautiful, the best moments you could see out of something like that happen, we got to see it as best we could with shit that actually did happen, but seeing how our city responded and our community responded makes me so fucking proud to have been born and raised in this city. You know, I'm sorry I talked too much.
I agree with that.
It's an amazing
too.
town.
Like it reminds you of like just how beautiful the people are here.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what keeps us going. That's what keeps all of us, like, I'm proud as fuck to be born and raised here and just watching what everyone did to come here. People that aren't from South Minneapolis, people that aren't from North Minneapolis, people that came down came up from Burnsville, came down from North, whatever. We don't know who the people, where they came from to come and try and help and do their part. We'll never know. You know, it's not just our community, but it's people from all over the state or whatever. They came to try and help all of us too, because you know so many people care, and that's what I love. I love that Cub Foods rebuilt. They didn't move. Like, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna build. I don't love Cub Foods, but they built a temporary store and went, no, we're not leaving the community. We're gonna build a temporary store. They bust people in from other Cub Foods. Target rebuilt, Aldi rebuilt, and that at least says something about. There's two of them are local companies. It's like, yes, they have other reasons, fine, but you know what? They could have just went, psh, gone, F you. And they didn't. They rebuilt right here, right where their stuff was destroyed, and their millions of dollars, whatever. And that makes me feel good about Minnesota people. And I digress.
Totally agree. I'm also from Minneapolis, born and raised right in this neighborhood, and like the 3rd Precinct is a place where, I mean, these are the same officers that we grew up with, you know, harassing us. You know what I mean? And so to see that burn down, there was something inside of me that was so proud of the frontliners who took a stand against that. And it wasn't just this one incident, right? It was the lead up to that. You know, it was Philando Castile. It was, you know, it was all the different, you know, people who have been, you know, taken away from us way too soon by the violence that the police, and especially the Minneapolis police have been inflicting upon us, you know, for so long. And, you know, my mom she owns a house a few blocks away, you know, and to like come to this intersection that I cross all the time and to see, you know, people ask me like, man, what is it like to see, you know, your neighborhood, you know, burn down, and people just burning down their own neighborhood or whatever. And I'm like, yo, this is bigger. You know, we talk about the change. What kind of change did we see? Did I see? Like, I've never seen, and I've been in protest movements. I've been, you know, on front lines. I've been out here and actively have you know, resisted for different causes. And I've never seen the people take back the power the way they did in this period of time, right? This was, you know, this was massive, on a massive scale that started here, and it created a wave that became an international thing. I mean, there was protests going on, you know, in Australia with the Aboriginal folks out there in solidarity fighting police brutality because they faced the same kinds of oppression. Never seen something like that before, and it happened in such a quick period of time, you know. I think, and I think it was like, as I said, I think it was built up. It was something that, you know, was like one more, it was like the tip of the iceberg, one more thing, and then the people are going to get out there and they're, you know, they're ready. And especially the youth, black, trans youth, queer youth, you know, people of color in general, you know what I mean, out there. And, you know, when people ask me, are you mad that people are burning things down? I'm like, you know, I don't, you know, Target has billions of dollars. They rebuilt. There's a better Target right now. I go in there, you know, every once in a while. I get toilet paper and it's there. You know what I mean? It's better than it was. I'm not worried about the corporations. And so there was different levels of protest, right? You had the people that were expressing their anger, and that's valid. You had people who were simply there because there was an opportunity, right? And an opportunity to have fun and destroy some shit, an opportunity to steal some things, and some people did, right?
Cool, you got to do TV, great.
Right? But it's like, what does that say? What does it say that, you know, some people feel the need to take something? Maybe there's a need even beyond that. You know what I mean? People are struggling right now, you know? There's it's not just about stealing some shit. There's a deeper cause to that. What is a root cause to somebody feeling the need that they need to go and jack a car or steal something? You know what I mean? They might be living in crisis. Why are they living in crisis? Well, maybe they got evicted because of the rising rental costs in the city that are just going up and up and up, and that's a reality for so many people, you know. And so, I mean, I could go on and on, you know, but the immediate change was the level of protest went from here to way up here like I've never seen before, you know. Like, I've been to many protests and I've never seen something like this. And that was the moment when the people, I think, had an awakening and realized that in order for us to really see the change that we want to see, we have to be the ones to take back that power, because the political process, that ain't working. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's through, you know, city council or the mayor or whatever it is, that process don't really solve the problems. It just kind of prolongs.
Because they don't know what they don't know what we're dealing with.
No.
I'm not going to tell you. There's a woman that hangs out at my bar who was National Guard, but she's a regular at my bar. Like, by day, drives a crazy purple Jeep, drinks Cap Coast, parties like the rest of us do. But she got the call. She got the call during all that. And she's like, the fuck do I do? She's like, I'm out having to be National Guard, but I'm seeing she's in her uniform and da-da-da, so no one recognizes her. But she's like, I'm in my uniform, and I'm like, I smoked a joint with that person, I partied with that person, da-da-da-da. You know, but she's doing her duty to one extent, which is cool, I respect that. But she's like, she was conflicted as fuck. And I bet you, I'm not trying to like throw an anti-perspective. That's not what but there are, because, man, when the National Guard came and rolled in, we collectively lost our shit in some ways for a lot of people. It's like, but there are people that are National Guard where she's like, So what the fuck? He's hood, fucking just did it. He said, what do I do? Because I did this thing. I signed it. There's a lot to everything, and it fucking sucks, you know? Anyways, Greg, we've taken up all the time. You should
It's good. You guys are great.
Greg, I wanted to ask you. So you are from South Minneapolis, correct? And
I grew up in South
grew
Minneapolis.
up. Yep. And I wanted to know. So I know there was like an interview that you had where you kind of described yourself as a bit of a loner, especially like growing up. What was it like growing up in South Minneapolis, and how have you seen things change over the years?
Oh man, that's a good question. I think one of the reasons why I felt like I was a loner when I was young is because I moved around a lot. And so I lived in different states. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia when I was really young. I was born in Minnesota, but then I moved back here when I was going into the fourth grade. So it was like a different vibe when I came back here. And it was a very Old Navy-ish. You know, no hate on Old Navy.
Like
they got affordable
tech
gear,
vests?
you know, but
Like a tech vest?
yeah, you know, like it was just very sterile, a lot of stuff. And how I come from, it wasn't that same type of energy, but in comparison to now, there's just so much more flavor in the city. It's crazy, and being someone that was into all kind of different types of music and skateboarding and all that, I'd be like the only kid on the block that was skating, you know? And I could talk some good dozens if somebody wants to throw those. So people didn't really pick on me, but people would always be like, oh man, those are some cool skate shoes. You could tell they wanted to say something, but they, you know, like, all right, bro, you're just different, you know? And that was just always the thing, you know. But now I see kids, and it's just, I'm driving down the street, and I just see a black kid skating, and I'm like, hey, you know. And I see him, and I'm thinking,
They don't even
like,
fucking know. They have no idea.
at all.
Well,
you
we
know
both
what I
did.
mean? Yeah, straight up.
They'll
you
tell you
know?
what is after the thing, but
And-
they have no idea what we did.
Exactly.
Thank you. Yes.
Exactly. And even, you know, to speak to that, the other week I brought my kid to a skate park just so he could watch him, right? Brought him to Familia. And we're standing there, and he's just watching, and there's just all kind of black kids in there just tearing it up. And everybody is looking at them like, whoa, these dudes are tearing it up. And I just remember being the only kid in there. You know what I mean? And so that's an elevation that's definitely, I mean, that's just a overall, I think, American culture thing. Is a lot of different things have become a lot more.
All right, I'm getting emotional. Go on. I might walk away from it.
But, you know, you put that groundwork in, you know, when you're the only person. I've always been okay with doing something that no one else did, but not everybody's that way, right? And so now you get to see more different styles of kids and people that can be themselves a lot more. It's a lot more of an accepting atmosphere and world. Specifically in South Minneapolis, I feel like it's flavor right now. There's also a lot of gentrification going around, and a lot of people can't afford to stay there no more, so now everybody's getting kind of spread it out around the city, and that's cool too, you know. No, that's not cool. It's cool that people are spreading around the city. Gentrification ain't cool. Let's just clarify that.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? But we have a very small city, and as I travel around the city more, I started learning about more different flavors as well, being over Northeast or North Side, and I'm like, man, it's so much more than just these little small area that I've always been in. And but I've noticed that a lot of the younger people now, those boundaries don't really have the same prudence. Is that a word? Prudence? Prudence. Whereas before it was like people were very territorial. And I think that was a hip hop thing. But nowadays that's kind of fading, and I prefer it that way because there's just so much different cool activities and ideas, and I see people that I think look cool that's a grown adult, and I'm like, man, how do I not know you? How come I've never interacted with you? You seem like you like the same type of things that I like. That's just something that goes in my brain when I see like someone that I think looks cool, you know? And I'm like, dang, I thought I met everybody that's cool. Like, dang, there goes somebody else. That means there's a whole nother world of cool people out here. Like, man, my friends are weak. No. But yeah, you know, I don't know if I answered the question. But
Yeah, you definitely did. I feel what you mean when you say you didn't feel like, or you feel like you're now seeing people that you're like, oh man, that's a really cool person. I feel like during the pandemic, like especially when we got together, like I was just like, oh my God, look at all these amazing people that I had no idea were here.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like I've been in the cities for how long? I'm born and raised in the cities, and I'm just starting to like meet all these amazing people. Now I'm not even here anymore, so.
That's your problem.
You'll
But you know,
come back a bit.
like I never met Tufawon, and now like, fuck, hell yeah, I've
which is
never-
ridiculous.
I've never met Greg Reese. I knew who Greg Reese was. I'd never met him. I knew
Just
nothing
ridiculous.
about Greg Reese. Alexi and I have played plenty of shows together all over town. We've never met, but this is great. Like he was talking about skateboarding as a young black kid, which I did. I had a Metallica Zorlak skateboard, the Puss headboard in 1987. Listen to Anthrax, Focus It in my buddy's fucking driveway in 1987. Like, nobody in the fucking world that looked like me in 1987 focused a Metallica Zorlak Pusshead skateboard ever in the history of ever. I mean, I can't brag. I did just brag about that. But, like, but that just did not fucking happen. You know, it didn't. Yeah. It's just, that's the real deal. And that's the thing. I learned a skateboard to go to tennis courts because they were safe and it was easy to skate on, you know? But that's just the reality of like, I grew up getting shit for listening to fucking metal by kids walking through school because I had Metallica written on my fucking jean jacket in 1989. You know, people like, but my name's Tony, so Tony, it feels good. We were talking about somebody, all that shit. But you know what? It's like people like Greg, all of us. You know, Alexi plays folk music and he plays hip hop. All of it. You choose what you like and you choose what you get to do and what you focus on, and then you just are fucking proud of who you are. And then fuck you, anybody that doesn't, any detractor. It's like you just own your shit and get to fucking do it and have fun. And then suddenly, now that I'm almost 70, or 44, I guess, as your elders, well, we're probably, whatever.
It's me and you.
Yeah. Suddenly, like, you're getting asked to be a part. It's like, why does? Oh, that's right. I've been doing this for 25 years. You know, fuck. It's kind of weird, but you know what? It's something to be proud about and proud of. And
the lines are definitely blurred over the years. Yep. Like, not only, to be a black kid skateboarding or the types of music that you could listen to. Mm-hmm. You don't see kids getting shit for that as much now. Gender expression. I see kids at the school I work at. They're wearing whatever the fuck they want to. Yeah. And it's cool. Like everyone's just like, yep.
Right.
There's Matthew, he got the weave. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter. And so it's wild to see like the lines blur over the years. So that's one little mark.
Norfolk Junior High in Brooklyn Park.
Yeah.
They did not like what I had to offer.
Yo, even certain rap music, you get looked at as not, you know, like you listen to that type of rap music. It's like, what? I'm still listening to rap music. This is our culture, right? But that wasn't even accepted, you know. And it's crazy how things have changed. Yeah.
Back when I was in high school, you know, it was like, if you were from the suburbs, you were totally lame, right? And like,
because you could help where you grew up,
right? You can't exactly. But yes, you know, I agree with Greg. Gentrification sucks, right? But today it's the city, the metro area, right? So I started driving Lyft as a side gig, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of a good side gig for like an artist because app-based services, you just jump on whenever and you work. And then if you got to play a gig or do something like this, you don't got to call in or anything, right? And I talked to a lot of people, and I really started to gain a perspective of what the Twin Cities metro area really looks like, and how like I have been so I've had such a South Side like neighborhood mentality for so long that, you know, I didn't even realize how diverse things are getting in a lot of different suburbs. Now, mind you, Edina is still the same Edina is what it used to be.
Gotta be clear.
Fuck your Galleria.
Make it clear.
Yo, fuck your Galleria.
Right? That Galleria, like, come on, what is that?
Hey, that's where I go to get my wife the fly gear though. Just put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, they got some nice shit.
To be clear, the Lifetime Fitness cross street from the gallery, they got the swimming pool and the rooftop. Yeah, I'm just saying. Anyways, you were saying. No, they do.
But yeah, so like, you know, there's different suburbs now that are much more diverse, and now I look at it like this, man. Be proud of where you're from, regardless, because you can't control. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do dope shit and you're a good person, like, rep that. It doesn't matter if you're from Robbinsdale, wherever you're from, like, rep that. Back then, it wasn't like that. It was like, nah, if you ain't from North Side, you ain't from South Side, you're from the lamest parts of wherever, you know. And now it's like, oh, it's different. It's changed up. You know, people have gotten moved around. Displacing people, you know, is messed up. You know, gentrification is messed up. But today, how things have shifted and moved around, the metro area is looking more like one big city to me than it is just Minneapolis. I mean, mind you, Minneapolis is what, 430,000 people-ish. St. Paul is about maybe 300,000. The whole metro area is somewhere close to like 4 million people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so there's so many neighborhoods in between, and I've seen so many different places. I've dropped people off at you know, trailer parks to gated communities where every single house looks exactly the same, and so it's changing the way I see it, and a lot of culture is really moving to different places. Like, you know, Central Ave. Man, I cruise down Central Ave, and I'm outside of gentrified Northeast, and I'm pulling to Columbia Heights, and I'm like, this feels more cultured to me than a lot of Northeast does right now. I'm seeing food trucks, I'm seeing local businesses. I'm like, this is dope, and I understand why, like, my older brother bought a house in this area. You know what I'm saying? Because really, it's like one big city. So that's a lot of the change that I've been seeing for sure.
I was born and raised in Columbia Heights.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to bar Columbia Heights with his kid. We go to Flameburger. But to what you're saying though, I think that's to what I was saying, and then what you also, it's like, you know what, Greg Reese cannot help where he was born. You know, he could have born in fucking North Branch, and you know what? Cool. He could be a dick. Oh, you were? Okay. He was, Greg Reese was born in North Branch.
No, I wasn't born in North Branch.
No, but I was like, but you know, it's like, we could have born anywhere. It's like, it's about, you know, obviously, you're always a product of your environment, but it's what you take of that and go, cool, all right. Nope, this is who I am. And that's, you know, it's like, I grew up in Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, and then my family's from Northeast and Columbia Heights, but it doesn't matter. Like, I could be fucking Alex Keaton, I could be whatever. It's about who the person is. I mean, because it is a very diverse city. Yeah. And it's like, it's not just like, oh, Columbia Heights is this, Fridley is that, Brooklyn, Burnsville is that. It's like, it's about who you are. And like you were saying, it's like, you grew up, every city within fucking 20 miles of where we're sitting right now, well, 10 miles, 7, diverse. And then it just takes awesome people to realize and take what they have within their community and make it better and make themselves better and be better people. So yeah, I fully agree.
Definitely. I love all the points that everybody made. I should probably move on to the next question, though, because we're only
that was like a 2-hour
we
question.
on 3?
That was did you ask it? Have we started yet?
Freestyle this shit.
So, Tufawon, I wanted to ask you about, 2016, 2017, you went over to Dakota Access Pipelines to be a part of the protest. What was that like?
Yeah, for me, you know, 2016, 2017, Dakota, Indigenous, Dakota, and Indigenous women and youth stopped construction of the building of the Dakota Access Pipeline, which is a pipeline that transports crude oil from the Bakken oil fields all the way to I think Illinois. I can't remember, somewhere around the Midwest. But yeah, so there was this whole plan by Energy Transfer Partners Corporation to build this pipeline, and originally it was supposed to go through this land in North Dakota that was closer to Bismarck, North Dakota, which is predominantly white, small town, North Dakota. People voted against it, and they were like, you know what, let's change the route and put it on treaty territory of the Lakota people, put it on Fort Laramie Treaty territory, and run this pipeline through, and basically this will put the water of 18 million people who depend on the Missouri River at risk. Oof. Right? And so people stood up. And so me, as a mixed Indigenous Latinx person, I'm Medewa Kantuan Dakota, I was called in, not just by, the people and by protest movement saying, hey, we need more people on deck, but it was also like a spiritual calling. And there was, it was like my ancestors being like, hey, it's your time, come be Dakota, you know what I mean? And so that was a really powerful experience for me, even though there is, eventually we lost that pipeline fight. And it's okay to say that, that's a lesson of life. Sometimes you lose shit. And as heartbreaking as it was, there was still a lot that was learned. Much like, what Grease was saying earlier, like I witnessed a lot of people who became warriors, who were young people who had no hope living on the res, I saw people become skilled and trained drone pilots and climbers and builders and like you name it. I mean, it was like the camp, being at the camp, the No Dapple resistance camp was like a school in a lot of ways. A lot of people got all kinds of training. I got my training from there, really. I would show up to protests and show up to marches and do the fist thing and the sign thing and be there, hold space, because that's important too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a role, and even showing up to the marches and the rallies, I feel like is extremely important too, because we power in numbers. But that's where I learned the training of being face to face with the protest, the riot police and all of that, and how to take care of myself in the event of getting hurt, because it's dangerous out there. There was extreme militarized police inflicting violence upon peaceful water protectors. Now, much like a lot of other protests, this one was peaceful. The elders had spoke and said this is going to be a peaceful protest. So it was on our part as Indigenous people, as water protectors, but on the police end and hired security mercenaries, and it was very violent. So I also saw a lot of violence, and I also experienced being, hurt in those scenarios, being on the front line, and but yeah, I mean, that whole experience was uplifting, and it changed me in a lot of ways. At one point I was questioning even doing music anymore, and I'm like, you know what, I think I need to be out here for my people, and maybe I'll just quit music, and eventually we were invited to go on tour and travel the world and talk about our experience being out there and talk about what it meant to be Indigenous and to fight for your people and to fight for your land and to fight for all that is sacred, and, we were able to tour the world and also get into the divestment movement, which was basically holding those financial institutions accountable for funding pipeline projects like the Line 3 and, Dakota Access Pipeline. And so at a certain point, I was able to, I realized that the fight for my people and the fight for the land and for the water and for our traditions and all of that, that fight is no different than music. You know what I mean? Because that's what we represent when we speak in our songs and what we write in our songs and our poetry. So when you see Greg Grease up here and you see him, you know, spitting bars to the crowd and what he's writing about and what he's talking about and how it represents our people, that's a front line within itself. You know what I'm saying? And so that to me was like almost a tipping point to where I quit music, but realized that both of them are the same thing, and that, you know, I use both of them to empower myself, you know. So in a nutshell, that was my experience.
That what you do is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we all do is you know, very, very important. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I want to ask Tony real quick. I want to ask you. You were kind of nodding towards it a little bit earlier, but with you now owning Palmer's and everything going on with the pandemic, how has that experience been?
I did touch on it a bunch. What's crazy is, like, I was a bartender for 20 years in Northeast. I worked at a bar in Northeast for 20 years. The chance to buy Palmer's was thrown in my face. And Buddy was like, wouldn't it be cool if like, eight of us went together and bought Palmer's? I'm like, no, because I knew enough about owning a bar at that point. In theory, I didn't own a bar. But I did it. And I took a chance of a lifetime, walked away for a great paying bartending job at a very popular bar. And I did it, and I always tell other people it's the best and worst thing I ever did to myself. I mean, I got to buy a bar. It's my dream. Every bartender's dream, naively, is to own a bar. Most of them know better to not really pursue it. I didn't. But, you know, when you're on that side of owning a bar or a business like that, oh, that's okay. Oh, shit, you know. But I'll tell you, I mean, I've gotten, it's been the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. And I didn't realize until I was doing some interviews with my friend Mecca, you must know Mecca, like, oh, I'm one of those, it's like, I didn't realize I was a unicorn. There are not a lot of people that look at me that have old-ass liquor license in Minneapolis. Like, I have one of the oldest liquor licenses, the second oldest liquor license in Minneapolis. Wow. It didn't dawn on me at the time. You know, it's like, yeah, cool, yeah, fun. Oh, fuck, this sucks. But then cool shit started happening, and we've turned it, you know, we've taken a place like that and turned it around. It's been amazing. And I've gotten, it's weird though, like I've developed anxiety a little bit because I'm known because I'm in bands. I'm known because I worked at Grumpy's Northeast for 20 years. But now I'm known because I've got publicity, like I talked about earlier, from the bar, this and that, and it's like, it's getting weird. It's like, I'm not fucking Greg Grease, but if I go to a restaurant, it's like, Tony, you know? No, but it's just like, you know, but I still try to be as honest and kind of a person as I've always intended to be. It's been really weird, but I'm so fucking thankful that I got the chance of a lifetime to do it. Absolutely. You know, and then, so now it's like, oh, if I have extra $100 in the bank, I want to, 100, whatever, but I want to have my friends to go play. And I want to do this stuff to include all of my community and this and that. And that's been the fun thing, is trying to find ways to be more kick-ass and bring in anyone that I love that matters, or not matters, but anyone that I love. But it's been an amazing experience. And holy shit, I get to own Palmer's. I wouldn't have just bought a bar if it was just like Bill's Dugout in Champlin. like 2-for-1s and baseball special, yeah. You know, no, it's fucking Palmer's bar. The fuck do I own? The day I had the keys to Palmer's when I first, and I was like, walking up the street by myself next to the mirror, like, the fuck am I walking into Palmer's bar with the keys to Palmer? Like, it is not lost on me that I own fucking Palmer's. For good or for bad, it's that bar. And we've all driven by it 1,000 times because it's the only way to get from fucking St. Paul to northeast Minneapolis, whatever. Like, it is not lost on me. And that's the fun part. And I think people know I'm very sincere. And that's why I think it works. Because I am, unless you're like somebody who's like, and like, the anxiety thing, I'm very much what you see is what you get. I'm a very kind and I'm a very nice person. I'm a very sincere person, and I mean that the best I can. And so it's fun, and that's what makes it fun, just to be able to do that and like give that bar back to people. And like, no, it's still here, but now it's like a little more comfy, maybe a little safer, and you can walk in and feel great, and you can have a good glass of wine, that kind of stuff. So.
And I know that, like, I mean, I was seeing you out here just like talking to everybody and like wanting to include everybody, and like, yeah, like you said, you are a sweet, really sweet guy that obviously very much cares about the people that are here.
I do, because you know what, especially at this point in life, like I sent a message to one of my sales managers about one of my beer delivery drivers, and I've been in the bars for 25 years, and I had never been so tempted. This guy was just like extra kind and friendly that day. He's like, the invoice number and whatever, not important, but he was just like a sweet and sincere driver. Just did a kick-ass job at being a beer delivery driver that day. And as I texted his managers that I know, I'm like, dude, holy crap, I did the right, because I think, don't mind me, I think people at this point, especially now, being able to do that or just doing that in this day and age after the whole world went through our collective trauma, and giving somebody that you don't know but who's just still kicking ass at doing his job, telling his people that are higher ups at work, like, that guy fucking kicked ass today. Yeah. Took nothing out of took 10 seconds of a text, and it made his fucking week. He probably got a bonus, I don't know, but that's what I feel like we all need to try and do, I like going to is there a manager on duty? He's the manager. Cool, because our server was fucking awesome. I tipped her $25 because she was so kind to me and the people I'm with. Thank you for having that person. It's like, because they're all like, oh, thank you. And everyone needs that right now,
Truth.
Kindness.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, sorry. But I'm gonna wrap it up with everybody. First of all, I just want to say thank you for this amazing conversation. I think that we can all agree that there's a vibe up on the stage.
I mean, we started a band, so
yeah, we started a band. So all right. When's their next rehearsal? But
it's at Palmer's for sure.
It's at Palmer's
Tonight in like 17 minutes.
But if I could just ask everybody to real quick, if you want to plug anything, let us know what you're doing. Let's start with Greg.
What am I doing? I'm doing everything and nothing. I have a new album that I'm working on that is a good portion done. I don't really like to put dates on things because then I don't fulfill them and then I feel bad about it. So I learned to stop doing that,
It's like it's going to come out soon.
Yeah, because I'm super hard on myself, and when I do stuff like that, then I just like feel all bummed out. But I have an album that is a good portion complete, which means a lot for me because I'm hard. It's very difficult for me to please myself. But the stuff that I have, I'm very pleased with. So there will be some new tunes soon, but I don't have a date.
Are you still making bags and shit? Because I might need to get one,
Yeah. The making of things has slowed down tremendously with fatherhood and other with the pandemic. I hate to keep bringing that up, but obviously it's an elephant, right? And you got to find ways to make money when you can't, get paid to be on stage and stuff. So the time has dwindled tremendously for me to be able to do creative projects, but it's something that I'm starting to get back into. I look forward to having more time to make stuff and be creative. That's really what I live for, is to be creative. So
I would like to use my time to ask Greg Reese, is the bags and the creative stuff you make, aside from your music, of course, is that on your website? Whoa, that sounds like a politician. I'd like to bide my time to, can I buy your stuff on your website?
no.
Okay, good. So what I'd like to do with my time, I'm looking forward to, I'll just say quick, Thanksgiving, I don't know when this is going to air, but Thanksgiving Day at Palmer's has always been a very special time, and I'm cooking at least 8 turkeys on the patio, starting about 8 a.m. with a deep fried turkey. Deep fried turkeys on the patio, and as they come off, we're going to carve them. People are bringing sides in, and at 3 o'clock, we're going to have food for the community, and it's always free. and we just take care of our people. People that are 86 from Palmer's get to come in that day and get a plate of food. It's because we have no. It's literally it's like, all right, fuck it, it's Thanksgiving. Come in and get some food. Yeah, get the fuck out. But today you can come in and get a plate of food, maybe get a cocktail, but then just don't be a shit. And so that's what we did. They've been doing it for 40 years, and I did it my first 2 years, and then last year obviously I didn't do it, but I've already gotten 5 turkeys donated, and so I'm cooking food on Thanksgiving, and people are bringing sides at 3 o'clock. Everyone eats. Everyone that doesn't have a family, doesn't want to be with their family, hates their family, whatever your situation is, come and eat for free. That's what I'm promoting.
I am really excited to be releasing a collaborative album this month with a group of really talented Indigenous artists from kind of all around the continent. The Land Back album is going to be released in about a week here.
Yeah.
And I'm stoked for that.
And that title too, Land Back?
Yep, Land Back. It's all about land back, And I had the honor of working with these awesome artists. We recorded this album out in Mesa, Arizona, at the Salt Mine Studios, which is a very, very beautiful studio. I think it's the nicest studio I've ever recorded at, because usually I'm home studio vibes. So that's cool, and I'm really proud, and I'll share everything when it comes out, and headed out to Rapid City on Friday to record something similar to this, like a pre-recorded performance that will be streamed. So that's what's going on, and then this winter, creatively, I think I'm just gonna. I got some music videos coming out or whatever and that I'm also excited about. But besides that, I'm really excited to just spend the whole entire winter in the studio just working on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, Greg, you got to come through.
Holla at me.
Holla. Let's get it.
You know I'm down.
We got the beatbox crew, too. We got to do a whole Let's get it.
Hell yeah.
Well, 2-for-1, Tony Zaccardi, Greg Reese, thank y'all so much for being here. Love and respect.
Totally honored.
Thank you for everything y'all do for the music community.
Appreciate it.
Thank
All right,
you.
y'all. Peace.
So the song relates to what a lot of us are going through right now. Isolation. Feeling kind of trapped inside, but having that yearning to break out. That yearning for freedom that we all want. Lonely lullaby. Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby? Can I manifest a dream I had the other night? Can I make my spirit fly just another time and let my message and its essence spread like the sunshine? Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby? Can I manifest a dream I had the other night? Can I make my spirit fly just another time and let my message and its essence spread like the sunshine? I want my waters to flood an empty riverbank with memories and inspirations that'll innovate, cultivate, penetrate, pollinate, piercing through every wall that I won't tolerate, won't manipulate. I want my waters to follow a natural current that keeps flowing like the interstate, but in a better way, in a manner that minimizes the damage that only humans can pass with the generations of dissonance. Through the lack of listening and forced misery, I stayed away from company to find a bit of inner peace. And it's bittersweet, liberating at the same time, quite isolating, hiding from humanity. I tried to write a masterpiece, I had to stand and think, had a stack of paper on the table, didn't have the ink. I tried to start a puzzle, couldn't find a corner piece, sitting in the corner of my room until I'm half asleep. Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby? Can I manifest a dream I had the other night? Can I make my spirit fly just another time and let my message and its essence spread like the sunshine? Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby? Can I manifest a dream I had the other night? Can I make my spirit fly just another time and let my message and its essence spread like the sunshine? How can I get away from these melancholy vibes? Listen to some podcasts, listen to some naughty by nature, and it's maybe in my interest to add Tierra Whack into my playlist. I want to fill these spaces with so many forms of medicine that they provide and let them in and make a vibe that takes me to a place in time, takes away the pain we face inside we might internalize day to day, or maybe in our DNA within the bloodline.
sunshine. A little bit of joy is what I yearn for. Since a little boy, it's what I work for. A dirty little badass kid from the south side, snotty nose. Whoever thought I'd be in Europe playing a lot of shows with a tiny dough. And I'm reminded of the time we made progress. Wrote grants for the tour so it cost less. The way we did it, no nonsense. Came a long way from the Little Earth projects. Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby? Can I manifest a dream I had the other night? Can I make my spirit fly just another time and let my message and its essence spread like the sunshine? Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby? Manifest a dream I had the other night. Can I make my spirit fly just another time and let my message and its essence spread like the sunshine? Sometimes distorted images appear so perfect. Sometimes the sky looks pink. My favorite time to catch a vibe is right before the night settles in. Let the words unravel as my third eye blinks. I look beyond the walls that isolated my thoughts and kept me from stepping out. Slumped over on my couch. I wanna be a part of you again and dance all night. In the twilight, within the flashing lights, I miss your whole composition in your songs and rhythms that you provoke, rotating like the spokes of a wheel that'll take us to the place where we belong as our waters reach each other with a current so strong. And together we will flood that same riverbank with new memories and places where we give our thanks. Then we let it be and we return in due time as our waters renew when the new moon shines. Can I sing my lonely self a little lullaby?
I gotta navigate the evils, gotta navigate the evils. Evil people go away from me, evil people go away from me. I gotta navigate the evils, gotta navigate the evils. Evil people go away from me, evil people go away from me. It's been a long day, let's get along. Oh, 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 it's been a long day, let's get along. No, oh, oh, we're all underwater when the rain falls. Nothing really matters when the day calls. Who can walk on water, dodge the raindrops? Who can swim forever, make the pain stop? Pain is pain, shame is shame. Playing games, get cut like razor blades. Day to day, we contest the layaway, but lay awake. Plague in a shady place, all for fame. Who's to blame? Guns go bang, bang. Bang, bang, protected names, hiding in plain justice, save face, but can't change what's really fate. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. It's been a long day, let's get along. Oh, 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 it's been a long day, let's get along. No, oh, oh, going along to get along. Never my song to feel it wrong. Shallow the palm, but still a problem. Bacteria calm, but still a harm you. Adding my pain to feel the same. Please validate this heavy weight. Concealing that thing to pull it back. God has always changed, trying to turn the page. Trying to get it page, now on center stage. Blinded by the rage, rather not engage. End up in a cage, time to show its age. Trauma leaks in, drama sneaks in. Rocks to sleep then, use deceit friend. Safe it keeps them, thieves and leaves grim. Seize the peace when we achieve sin. Pray for peace and slay the beast within. It's been a long day, let's get along. Oh, 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 it's been a long day. Let's get it on. Oh, 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 blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. Blinded by the shine, there to blow your mind. 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 There to blow your mind.